Welcome back to Hannity. So Hillary Clinton, she's trying to spin the reason for her sky-high unfavorable ratings. Now, she claims it has nothing to do with her many ongoing scandals. Take a look.
52% of the American people who participated in our CBS News poll have an unfavorable opinion of you. That is the highest negative impression of anyone ever nominated by the Democratic Party since we started asking that question in 1984. Do you bear any responsibility for that?
Oh, I'm sure I do, but I think when I was Secretary of State and serving our country, I had an approval rating of 66%, and I think it's fair to ask, well, what's happened? And what's happened is tens of millions of dollars of negative advertising and coverage that has been sent my way.
All right, here with reaction, Fox News legal analyst Peter Johnson Jr., Washington Examiner contributor Lisa Booth, and Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall. All right, Peter, let's put up on the screen the new Fox News polls. We talked about it earlier. All right, is Hillary lying about the emails and how they were handled? 60%, yes. All right, did she put U.S. security at risk with classified emails? Well, we learned today that, in fact, that CIA agents in the field, their names may have been compromised through this. That means their lives would be put in jeopardy. If you have numbers that high, and she's making the claim, no big deal, is she playing a game, or does she maybe know something that we don't know?
I don't know it. I mean, she knows how to deceive pretty well, and probably not as well as a lot of folks do. I mean, this is about polling negative ratings, and this is about bad commercials somehow. When you have a history of engaging in conduct like this, and over a couple of years people begin to understand it, when you have a server that's a homebrew server that is susceptible to Russian intelligence and Chinese intelligence, when you engage in conduct like that, when you engage in all the conduct that we've read about, then people are smart. Americans are smart. They understand that there's an honesty, a trustworthiness, a credibility issue, and that impacts things in a huge way.
Lisa, I'm a little torn because I do agree with Newt Gingrich when he says Donald Trump is at his best when he goes big. He's talking about giving a speech which would rehash a lot of the Clinton scandals on Monday. Should he really be comparing and contrasting the visions for America? And also, I would certainly dip into the fact that she has an honesty and trustworthy issue as a problem. But what's the best campaign strategy is what I'm asking.
Well, I think comparing, contrasting is important, but I do think it's important to bring up this email, her private email server and private email scandal, because it does have an impact with voters. As you mentioned, 60% think that she did something wrong when it comes to the private email and private server. And look, she keeps trying to chalk this up to negative advertising, somehow some sort of Republican witch hunt. Guess what? She's being investigated by the FBI. We also know that she has already done something wrong. The State Department's IG report says that she broke State Department rules, and we'll soon know if she broke the law from the FBI. Further, the Associated Press and the New York Times are the ones who broke the story in the first place.
You know, the IG report was very clear when, senior department officials were not asked to approve a private email server. She told a lie about that, according to the IG report. Lie number two is, she said their staff had to shut down her server temporarily because of hacking attempts. She lied and said there was never an attempt to do that. That's a contradiction. Also, if you look, Colin Powell, he didn't use a personal email server like Hillary Clinton, and she's tried to make that analogy. And number four, her production of emails was incomplete, in spite of her saying over and over again, I handed over 55,000 pages. Well, that's after you deleted 30,000 emails.
First of all, if we're looking at polls based on what does the American people think about the two people now, the presumptive Republican and Democratic nominee for president, Hillary Clinton actually polls higher with approval than disapproval compared to Donald Trump, and he doesn't have an email server issue or an investigation going on.
The Inspector General of the State Department says she's lying. If you look at her words and you compare it to what they say, they are saying she's lying.
So are we saying then that the American public would not vote for any politician that may not have been 100% honest, or are we concerned that there was a criminal issue
Well,
here? Is there an issue of negligence? Is there an issue of recklessness,
all of
poor judgment, or is there an actual investigation that will lead to an indictment? I don't think so.
Should I answer that? Answer the question?
Yes, please.
It's all of those issues, and negligence is part of the criminal statute. It's not only intentional. Absolutely. There's an understanding that Hillary Clinton has created this mini legal community to defend her conduct. There's a whole constellation of her aides that have taken on lawyers that her folks are helping pay for. The government is paying for based on her conduct in not meeting the requirements of the law. And so she said, you know, I didn't have to speak to the IG because I had handled that publicly. And then she said to Brett Baer,
and she says she's transparent.
Well, no, I don't expect any problems with this. This is all good. This is not all good.
But Peter, based on that,
Lisa, hang on, go ahead.
Well, Leslie, riddle me this. When in our nation's history have we had a major party nominee who's facing a federal investigation by the FBI? The fact that Hillary Clinton is the Democratic nominee is mind-blowing. That is a disgrace to the Democratic Party.
History,
she is facing a federal investigation by the FBI. That is a shame. The Democratic Party should be embarrassed.
Lisa, when in our nation's history, if we had somebody stand up and say, Mexico doesn't send us its finest, and talks about an entire ethnicity, Mexican Americans, does not say illegal, about being murderers and rapists. When do we have somebody stand up and say
Donald Trump has differentiated between illegal immigration and immigration?
Leslie, stop.
We have never in our history had a candidate saying the things that Donald Trump is putting forth.
You cannot say things that are so factually inaccurate.
When did Donald Trump say illegals, Sean? Yes, absolutely.
Okay. He talked about people that have. I sat through a security briefing with Governor Rick Perry. There were over 625,000 crimes in an 8-year period in Texas committed by illegal immigrants, including rape and murder. Fact. Issue number 2, he never said a ban of all Muslims. He said a temporary ban on Muslim immigrants because the FBI director, assistant FBI director, the chairman of Homeland Security, the former special envoy to defeat ISIS, and our national director of intelligence all said ISIS will infiltrate the refugee population like they did, Peter, in Belgium and in Paris. That's the fact. That is a more accurate description.
Has there ever been a candidate that stands there
Peter,
and mocks the judge for his
We're going to engage in straw person arguments. The issue that we're talking about at this point is that Hillary Clinton could potentially, but for the president's intervention, face an indictment with regard to her conduct. There has been no explanation as to why, apart from criminal conduct, you would have such bad judgment that a Secretary of State, maybe the second most powerful official in the United States, that you would open yourself up to the world, that you would put your own personal interests above yours and yours and yours, Sean, and mine and our families. That's what Hillary Clinton did.
So you don't trust the FBI to investigate this fully?
I trust the FBI.
Well, if you trust the FBI, let them do their job.
Real quick.
Defense Secretary Gates also said that it is highly likely that Russia, Iran, China all were able to hack into.
Well, then the FBI will come down with an indictment if all of that is true.
Well, they may put forth a criminal referral. What will the Department of Justice do? What will Loretta Lynch do at that point?
I think she would follow it.